Well, hello and welcome. We'll just be starting off with this Vedanta town hall. We'll have Mr. Anil Agarwal with us in just a bit. We are almost going live with this particular call, so just bear with us for a few seconds.
Dear shareholders, good afternoon and a warm welcome.
Welcome to Vedanta Limited Chairman's Town Hall with the shareholders, one of the first here in India. My name is Nigel D'Souza, and as you'll all know, I'm the Deputy Editor with CNBC-TV18. I'm happy to be joined by Mr. Anil Agarwal, the Founder and Chairman Vedanta Limited, and also we're joined by Mr. Jack, the Director of Strategy, and Ms. Prerna as well, who is Deputy Head of Communications as well as the Corporate Company Secretary as well. Well, Vedanta Limited has grown from an Indian domestic mining company into a global natural resource and technology conglomerate with over $35 billion of investments here in India. Mr. Agarwal, well, it's good to speak to you as always, Mr. Agarwal. And in fact, this time around, it's a little bit more special because we have got all your shareholders who are joining in on the call. And also, they'll want to understand your journey, what have you achieved so far, and more importantly, what's the vision for the company from here on? Well, to just tell everyone who's joining in, during the event, we'll be discussing some of the top questions that you've already put in, and you all can join in and ask Mr. Agarwal itself. Well, Mr. Agarwal, before we get to the numbers and discuss about your journey, there are a lot of young investors on this call who like to understand your journey from here on. How you founded this company, and in fact, all those trials as well. I looked at your Twitter page and you were describing Dhoni. When he celebrated, he was behind. But there were many challenges, and at that point of time, he was up front. You would have experienced that as well, many a time, right?
Many times.
So tell us more about that. Tell us about a couple of instances where, in fact, you would have experienced some of those challenges, but you overcame them, and you pepped up the team as well.
Thank you very much, CNBC, Nigel, to allow us to have this town hall. I thank you very much, my shareholder, who's my family. Today, being a working day, you are sparing your time to listen to an ordinary man. Also, my 80,000 people who work shoulder to shoulder, they all are online. I am nobody. They are the one who has done it. I am getting a credit. So they all are there. So once again, thank you very much. This is a journey for people like you, people like me, a common man who want to do something, try something in his life. All of you know this story, but Nigel is asking. I'm from Bihar, 19 years old, went to Bombay, never seen double-decker bus in my life, never seen the tall building. I got this experience and felt that I'm going to be here. And I was there, I struggled, it was very difficult, but all of us has gone through those difficulties. I've made my way, failed one after other. I worked for somebody, failed one after other, 9 business, made success, still the recognition was not there, which I wanted. I wanted money, I wanted recognition. I heard that London is the place. With my wife, with the 2 children, without knowing anybody, I arrived Heathrow Airport, check in the hotel with a 2-room, one for children, one for myself, hired a service office and started. And within 3 years, I was only one aim to raise money and list my company. And I asked, what is the most prestigious thing? And they says FTSE 100, best 100 company of the world. And trust me, is sheerly determination, fearless, perseverance, and humbleness. We have achieved, we raised $35 billion in London Stock Exchange, invested in India.
Yeah.
In short, very short, this is something I could say.
All right. Mr. Agarwal, today there's been a lot of to and fro, and there's a lot of clarity that's awaited on one of your pet projects. That's the semiconductor issue. Now, we had Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar as well earlier today. He clarified that it appears on the semiconductor issue, there's a bit of a technical issue. Could you tell us more about it? What's the investment you're looking at out here? And how do you see this project developing as well?
Like I had a dream in the past, I have a dream. मैं तो सपने ही देखता हूँ. आप लोग भी सपने देखिए. सपने देखना बहुत जरूरी है. I am looking forward my India to be a developed country. There is no country like India. With 1.4 billion people, most of them are young, like you, and see the girls, the way they are coming out, that way I saw yesterday the IPL match. The whole world says they never experience this kind of experience where 30-40% girls were there, young people cheering up 100,000 people. So this is what India is. So this is what, how do we all have to be together to make sure we make our country as a developed nation where everybody should live, everybody like we have to make our per capita income $5,000, which is a $2,000. The moment we reach 5,000, in the world the average is about 15,000. At least we should reach 5,000. The moment 5,000 comes, we will be there. So we are looking at the semiconductor is a one thing is today's oil.
Yeah.
We are a chip taker, we'll be chip maker. And this will change our country. This will change. Without chip, nothing will happen. Time to come. Whether it's artificial intelligence or anything. And you trust me, please trust me, this will happen and we will do it. And then many more can come, they can do it also.
Okay, all right. So what we've understood since morning, particularly post what Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar said, that Vedanta, it seems, the group is ready with the 40 NM fabs. So the 28 NM fabs is something that maybe you all are looking at developing. But tell us more about that, sir, in terms of the semiconductor dream project itself. And also, since we have Vedanta Limited shareholders on the call, would you like to tell us what kind of role will the listed entity play in this?
One thing for sure, because we are in this business, we have a factory which makes display glass in Korea, in Taiwan. We are so well placed in Taiwan. TSMC, which is one of the largest manufacturers of semiconductor, is around us. So we are fully equipped for making semiconductor. The government is also making sure this can only happen. We always live in the era of public sector, and the government and the government and the government. Maybe when we got independence, it was the era where that time government has to set up the manufacturing, and that's what they do. That has gone. That has gone. We have entrepreneur after entrepreneur. This is the era of entrepreneur. We have to build better America than what India is. Semiconductor, these are the very technical. We are very comfortable, and this question will come and go, and whether 29 or 30 or 20, we are fully equipped. We have a David Reed, who was the pioneer of making semiconductor. He is hiring 400 people to make this happen. We have already selected the site of Gujarat, and government is with us shoulder to shoulder. The kind of confidence which I have seen in the government, in the public, in the Foxconn, anywhere. Some people says, if anybody can do it, will be Vedanta or Anil Agarwal. This is what murmur people are talking about. So I feel very good. This is going to happen. As far as the Vedanta shareholder is concerned, they are my family. So we have to look at it is under umbrella, and there are a lot of things which we have to make sure regulator, everything is taken care of. But I will always be from bottom of my heart that how our Vedanta shareholder is part of it. I will always be looking at that and see how this can happen.
All right, so you have a vision out there, and you're telling us these plans are pretty much going according to plan as of now, and the government and Vedanta Limited are working shoulder to shoulder to try to make this project possible, right, sir?
Yeah, see, the foreigner, I'm son of a soil. मैं तो इसी मिट्टी का हूँ. मेरे को मालूम है कैसे होता है, क्या होता है. We are the risk taker. We are going ahead to build our country, to make it a develop, and these things will come. This approval, that approval, but our Prime Minister, only because of our Prime Minister, who is a visionary, he wants to make sure that our country can develop, the poor to poorest can go uplift, and this semiconductor will help. So we are going ahead. I'm not that educated, but I know for sure I have a full assurance from the government, and I have given them a full assurance that we will work shoulder to shoulder, and we will make sure that semiconductor project comes. Also, please understand the world does not want us to produce semiconductor. There will be hurdles after hurdles. There will be hurdles after hurdles because they want to buy the semiconductor from them and build the product here. And we want to do both. We want to produce the semiconductor and we want to build laptop, we want to build a smartphone. Every 15 years, girls or boy must have a affordable laptop. Those days has gone where we used to push our children to become a lawyer or doctor or engineer. This is a time where they have their own vision, and laptop will be window to the world, and this is what semiconductor will do.
Okay, all right. So that's the vision that you have. Maybe, we're looking at NVIDIA the last few days at $1 trillion of market capitalization. Not sure, maybe you have something in the offing out there as well in terms of this pet project. But for the time being, it appears there will be some hurdles on the way, but it appears that you're pretty confident that you could steamroll all of that.
Hurdle is a state of mind. As long as you are doing for others, for your country, and you are completely regulated and governance oriented, you have to take risk. These are the new thing for India, and people like us has to come forward and take the first step.
All right. So semiconductor plant is still very much on, and you have a vision for it.
Already gone ahead.
Lovely. Okay, we've cleared that out. The other niggling problem is what's happening at Vedanta Resources, Mr. Agarwal. There are a couple of payments. I think in the near term, we're looking at a couple of reports that came out today. And the near terms, that's May and June payments, I think $500 to $700 million, that's been taken care of at the parent level. But I think going ahead for the remainder of this year, there's still a couple of $1 billion odd. How sure are you that you can make these payments? Do you want to give a message out to your shareholders? Because Vedanta Limited is not something that people worry about. They worry about Vedanta Resources making those payments. So can you clear the air?
I think we are very comfortable debt. Is always the case when people like us stand. We have to do 25% extra. When my daughter was studying in UK, I used to tell her, if you want 1-to-1, you have to do better than them. Same thing with us. We are very comfortable. We are the people who cash generate in the company. How can I give a dividend? The kind of dividend we have given, nowhere in the world people can even imagine. For me, nothing is more closer to me than the shareholder. And I always tell them and promise them that there is no question where the dividend will not flow, where our payment, it is even I don't even think that how the payment will be made, because we have a cash flow and this payment will be made. So as far as our debt equity ratio is very comfortable. Our banks, lenders, everybody is very, very comfortable. My dream, my vision is, in few years, I will have a zero debt company.
Okay, zero debt company. But what about Vedanta Resources, sir? You're confident that all the payments that are due for FY24 in particular will be made? And I'll tell you from where this is stemming. Because Hindustan Zinc had a lot of cash that used to be paid to Vedanta Limited. In turn, it used to go to Vedanta Resources as well as your shareholders. So everyone gained in the bargain. Now the problem is Hindustan Zinc's cash in the books has actually gone down. You've already paid out a big dividend from Vedanta Limited. Should your shareholders look at more of the same in the coming year? And then that will be sure that in fact, that $1.5–2 billion that are pending at Vedanta Resources will also be taken care of?
We have a complete business plan by which we are very comfortable to take care of debt, because all the money where we have built this company has come from the parent company, and we have a fully plan how this will be paid. So this all are been lined up. There will be zero debt on the top in a few years, and we are very comfortable that all the payment has been made in the past and will be made in the future.
Okay.
Because we are growing company and we do always something different. So the world does not want India to manufacture.
Okay.
So these are the some hurdle and the people talk about. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
All right. Mr. Agarwal, we're getting a lot of queries that are coming in there from your shareholders, and we'll get to that in just a wee bit because I've got a few more questions for you.
Sure.
Let's clear the air on a couple of,
sure.
Let's give them a good platform, and then, we could get it. Because we've got a lot of queries that are coming in as well. So
it's a pleasure to talk to them.
I'll toss it to the chorus operator in just a bit. But, Mr. Agarwal, also I wanted to clear a couple of other aspects then. Now, you have 68.11% in the listed entity Vedanta Limited. And a lot of shareholders as well are wondering, do you have a plan to bring that down? You could easily sell a couple of percentage in the company, make yourself more comfortable, and then at the top, as you're talking about being debt-free, maybe you do it from the cash, maybe you do it from dividend, or maybe you pay some stake. You've trimmed off 1% if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I checked the release as of March. Do you have plans to bring down stake further from here, or will you hold on to this?
For me, is only one thing, to make my country, today 50% goes, our money, hard-earned money, goes for the import of all natural resource, whether it is oil and gas, whether it is a gold, whether it is a copper, whether it is a fertilizer, and I'm on those sector. And I've been saying from last 15 years is, we have natural resource. हमारी धरती माँ के पास सब कुछ है. Above the ground हमने सब किया है. Below the ground we have all the resources, and I'm the one who taken a bullet to move forward to produce this asset. So as far as your question on the debt, right?
Yeah, I'm asking you about the promoter holding, which is 68.11%. You have a big vision for the country as well as at Vedanta Resources. Could it involve paring some stake in the listed entity Vedanta Limited from 68.11%?
We have no plan, but as no plan at all. But hypothetically, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We have to take our country as a developed nation. And for that, if any point of time, for me to sacrifice, to take this company forward, I will do it not for my personal benefit, only for my shareholder benefit, and take my country forward.
Okay, all right. So as of now, there are no plans, but if the need arises in the future, you could look to pay some stake if the need arises and if it's in the interest of the company as well as of the country. So we get that point.
Shareholder, most important
shareholder. The shareholders are listening in, sir, and I think we'll have a couple of more queries on that. Could this involve, just yesterday on the exchanges, to Glencore, you have raised some money, $250 million approximately, by some pledge, 4.5% odd. Does it stick to that pledge, or is there a bigger plan? Because there was some rumor out there that maybe Mr. Agarwal has a bigger plan. Glencore has now only, lent some money on the basis of this pledge. But is there a bigger plan in store?
Not at all. It's a normal business, because they are the largest trader of the world for the natural resource, aluminum, copper, zinc, and we have this trade relationship, and these materials are in a short supply, so we take some money And in the as far as we take the money and whatever to make them comfortable, if we have to place the share, we place the share.
Okay, all right, because now it's almost entirely pledged, your holding in the company.
It doesn't matter because it plays for the particular amount.
Right.
And the particular amount is so insignificant. And that's fine with us.
All right, but there is no bigger plan then. It's just a pure
Not
pledge.
at all, except what we have done for the trading purpose.
Okay, all right, but there's nothing like you're looking at doing a tie-up with Glencore or anything like that.
No. But they are the people who are the biggest trader and the manufacturer of natural resources.
Okay.
And we have very, very good relationship with them.
Okay, all right. What's happening with Hindustan Zinc then, Mr. Agarwal? You know, the last time we spoke, there was that chatter that maybe Hindustan Zinc is, they could be looking at buying out international zinc assets, which didn't happen. But is that completely off the table, or is there a plan going ahead? And also that the government of India, as you've said repeatedly, if they want to sell, you're a willing buyer up to the quantum that you are allowed to, maybe 5% or so. Anything you've heard on that?
Yeah, we are going through the transition. You know, our Prime Minister has always said, government has no business to be in a business. Government has never failed in their commitment. It's a fully committed an agreement that how they will sell the share. It's very unfortunate that has not happened. Government really want to do it, but for some reason it has not happened. And these companies has to be board-run companies.
Yeah.
The whole world run on the board-run companies, and that's what it should happen. We have a huge plan for the Hindustan Zinc,
Yes.
because it is the kind of return we have given. We have given 70% return on the investment. So government has made a lot of money. Almost 40,000 crore we have given to the government. So I have no doubt, because I'm so Indian, I have no doubt that the government will take a step to make sure they want to do it, so they get the money and they divest their holding.
All right, you know, Mr. I have to give that to you though. The way you have turned around this asset has been phenomenal in the last 20 years or so. So that's kudos on that front. But do you believe, you know, we've been waiting for the last few years. I think we spoke in FY22. You were indicating that I think this year they'll do it. FY23 passed as well. And we almost heard that announcement that the government of India, that 29% stake that they have, maybe they're looking at selling it. 24, do you think it will finally take place? Some divestment from the government of India's stake, and if that is the case, you're a ready buyer.
You know, I'm talking to you, you can understand, when I sit in London, the whole world asks me this question. And I'm son of the soil, and I say, look, when you work in India, you have to have patience. Though our youth does not have a patience, but this is the fate. We are going through the transition period. This government is doing everything possible to make things move faster. Judiciary is looking everything to move faster.
Yeah.
I hope thing will happen. It's not in my hand.
All right, and you know, a lot of those youth in there, they have obviously been tracking your story, and they're tracking your story all the way from Bihar to, to Mumbai, to London, and the way you've grown the company as well. Before we hand it over to your shareholders who are waiting by, what about there is this slowdown? Every now and then we hear about this global slowdown. Maybe India as well could slow down a little bit. You would have seen many of these cycles, right? The rate hikes, the rate cuts, the slowdowns of the world, a recession. What's your comment?
See, we Indians very optimistic. No, we are at least 20, 25 years behind. Our youth, our children, they have no patience. They are moving. The fellow is on the cycle, want a scooty fellow want a scooter fellow want a car, he want electricity, he want the tap water, everything. He want his children to go to the English school.
Yes.
There is no question the demand. We have almost 65% people in the below middle class, and they all will jump into the middle class. And the demand, the world is looking at what demand we will have. So where the recession will come, we need all our youth who are there, entrepreneurs, to come forward and to be foray in these areas.
Okay, all right, Mr. Agarwal, you have answered a fair bit of our queries. I think we'll get in a couple of shareholder queries now. I may have a few more for you, But for the time being, let's welcome our shareholders. I think we have the operator who's queued up a couple of calls. So let's hear out from one of the shareholders who wants to ask a question to Mr. Agarwal himself.